SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
If you're feeling anxious about your investments with all the economic volatility and chaos in Washington, tune in to SuperTalk Jackson on Wednesdays from 9 to 10 a.m. and Sundays from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. for Element Wealth Radio with Jeremy Nelson. Learn more at myelementwealth.com.
Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any conversation.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, party accused, party on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good Thursday morning. How you doing? Another beautiful day outside in Southwest Mississippi. The weather treating us nicely. Will it continue to do so? Mostly, yeah. That, by the way, is exactly as optimistic as I'm able to be this morning on anything except for our guest here on North Pike Thursday, brought to you by Selman's and Southwest Supply. You got my old buddy Lynn Weaver, the master of throwing short sticks in a direction far away from him in the archery program, plus about 17 other hats the man wears. Lynn, how you doing this morning, man?
Dave, I'm hanging in here like a loose tooth, just trying to make it to the end of the week, and we've got so much going on. First of all, thank you so much for having us this morning. Me, I say us, but we really appreciate y'all's support more than y'all ever know.
I thought that was the royal us.
The us's.
Yes, the us's.
The us's.
Now, before we get into archery, I do want to mention tonight's a big night for the band, right?
Yes, sir. We have our spring concert. I just lost my train of thought there. We have our spring concert tonight with the high school. Of course, we'll have the high school band performing. We'll have the Hippies in the End Zone performing. Really looking forward to it. 6:30 at high school gym. Come on. It's going to be a good time. And the kids have been working really hard. We're ready to get this thing moving.
Yeah, and show up and support the kids, because there's a lot of work that goes into a show like this.
They've been working their tail off, and we're real proud of the progress that they've made. It's weird because most people look at the band program and only think about a marching band. And honestly, the concert season is what builds your marching band. During marching season, we've got so many elements that we've got to teach. There's so many things we've got to attack, and we don't get the opportunity to teach the technique and the playing of the instrument the way that we would like. There's just not enough time in the day. So that part of it, the technique, the learning to play your instrument better, being a better individual musician, all that's done in the spring. So it's super important that we have a successful spring, and it's what makes the rest of the program.
Well, exactly, because, you in the spring, you don't have to teach the marching and the formations and all of those things. Just have a seat, play.
Yes, and let's work on the things that make you a better player. And that immediately transfers into the marching band, obviously, and that's why we hang our hat so much on the springtime and what we're able to do with those. Plus, it gives us time to be in a controlled environment that we can really address individual things, break into smaller groups, work more one-on-one with them. And that is key to our success. Without that opportunity, we couldn't make the things in the fall happen.
Well, the band, to me, kind of suffers from the same expectation problems as everything else. Football, everybody, what they showed up for is the 50-yard touchdown pass bomb thrown at the end of the game. Baseball, everybody wants to see the home runs. Band, everybody wants to see the marching band.
Exactly.
And they forget about all the other stuff and the fundamentals like you're talking about.
That is key. That 50-yard pass would not happen if they didn't spend the time in the weight room to make it all happen. That walk-off home run would not happen if they weren't doing AB in the cages every day. So there's a process to everything that we do, and the spring, like I said, is integral to the success of that band program. Not only that, it keeps the kids involved. Band is a year-round sport, and that's the bottom line. So anyway, we're in the middle of recruiting 5th grade. We're testing now and just keep moving forward.
That's all you can do now.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of that, correct me if I'm wrong, regular season is done for archery, right?
Yes and no.
See, there are no easy answers with archery on anything.
No, there's nothing easy about the schedule with archery, and it changes literally day to day. We just completed the South State tournament, and I'm super, super excited to tell everybody that the high school archery team finished second South State in Division III. Now, the way that works is there's 4 divisions under the MHSA umbrella for archery. Classifications 1A and 2A are Division I, 3A, 4A, Division II, then 4A, 5A is 5A, 6A, I can't even do my math this morning, is Division III, and then Class 7A has its own classification. And we do compete in the the third class because we are a 5A school, and we finished second in our region, the south half of the state. We will move to the state tournament, which will be held at the Horse Barn on the campus of Mississippi State University the 20th of April. So we've got about a month before that happens. And with the junior high program, they finished 12th, but they're classified completely different. And basically all of the middle school, junior high archery teams in the state are under one umbrella. So they finished 12th in the South, which is really, really good when you consider that there's close to 40 teams that were involved in that tournament at the South State level. And then, of course, we'll see how that falls out at the state level. That tournament is going to be difficult for us to get to because it falls in the middle of our state testing window. And
who scheduled that?
Well, it wasn't a thing that they did intentionally. I will tell you that normally our state tournament is held at Trademark in Jackson, but I'm having to choose my words carefully. But because of some problems that we had with scheduling there and with the price of what it costs to rent the facility, we had to split that up. So the high school tournament will be held, like I said, on the campus of Mississippi State. The everything else state tournament will be held at the multipurpose center in Forest County Multipurpose Center in Hattiesburg. That will include the elementary, junior high tournament, the extreme tournament, which is a completely different classification of bow, and the all-star tournament will be there, and then all the high school stuff will happen at Mississippi State.
Now, I do want to take a moment and just point out, and you hear Lynn struggling to get through this and and what you have to realize is that struggle is coming from a place where he's desperately trying to simplify this to where it makes sense.
Yes, and I apologize. It's really difficult when you consider that there's basically 3 organizations that are involved in the planning and administration of this program.
That's not helping.
It's not helping at all. And it's not – the National Archery in Schools program is number one. That's where all the rules come from, and that's who basically keeps the state tournament records. The Archery in Mississippi Schools program, which falls under the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, we couldn't do it without them. So they're extremely involved with all aspects of this program. And then we've got MHSAA involved with the people that choose, or the schools that choose to shoot under that umbrella. And then, of course, MAIS is involved. And I mean, there's just so many groups that have their finger in it, not for money. It's not about that. What it's about is making sure that the rules concerning no pass, no play are adhered to. It's very kid centric. I want to make sure that everybody understands that the administration of this is a nightmare. But at the end of the day, it's all about what are the kids getting out of it, what are we providing the kids, and what can we do better. And all four of the organizations that I mentioned, or 5 organizations, are all under that we all have the same goal. It's just everybody's trying to get there in a different path, and it's hard.
Well, and that's my question. Do you see a time, some point in the future, 1,000 years from now, whatever, do you see a time at some point where we can simplify some of this and have a few less chefs in the kitchen?
I think it will. I think it's going to simplify itself, or it's going to eat itself. I'll be honest with everybody. Waldo Cleland, when he started the program with the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, he had a vision, and we're still adhering to that vision. For those of you that have been around it, Mr. Cleland was instrumental in making this happen, and he passed away, I think, 2 years ago. Since then, we've all been kind of trying to find our way and exactly how we can reach the goals that Waldo had set out for the state of Mississippi. And his goal, quite simply, was to get as many kids involved as he could. And with that said, I think we're number 2 nationwide as far as participation in this program, behind Kentucky, which Kentucky's the home of the National Association and all that. So I think we're on the right track. It's not just about numbers. It's about exposing the kids. Archery is a very unique sport in that you don't have to be a super athlete, but what you've got to be is super mentally strong. And that part of it is by far the greatest outcome, is keeping the kids in the moment, getting them to focus on something other than a screen, making sure that they understand that the only thing they can control is what they do next. All those things really lead to other parts of your life in a very positive way, and that's the goal.
Well, that's what I was about to say, because just about every extracurricular activity, whatever, finger painting, I don't care what it is, gives the kids exposure and experience in some type of skill that will carry them through life. What you're talking about with mental toughness, the ability to focus, the ability to tune out distractions, the ability to get outside of your own head long enough to accomplish something, those aren't minor things.
No, they're not. And those are the ultimate goals. Yeah, sure. We would love to have, kids that can shoot a perfect card. We'd love to have, Olympic athletes that come out of this, and we will, and we do. We have those people. We have plenty of kids that are shooting at a collegiate level. And all of that's wonderful, but that's not the goal. Those kids are going to do that whether or not I'm standing with them, and I truly believe that. What I can provide is a child an experience that they probably wouldn't have otherwise. I can provide them an opportunity to compete with a team. And the other beautiful thing about it is there's not a rec league for what we do.
True.
This is not something, there's not a 5-year-old T-ball archery team in this area.
A terrifying thought.
Is it not? And with that said, they come to me with no skills. So I take a lot of kids because you never know which one of those kids are going to wake up, when they're going to find their lane, and then all of a sudden it's going to be a whole different deal.
I'm sorry, I got a message from Chris and said, good grief, did Boulware design this program?
Oh, yeah, he's right, too. That sounds a whole lot like something that Clint Boulware would put in place just so we could have as many obstacles and hurdles to jump through.
Well, I mean, the last thing you need to have happen when you're learning how to juggle the little foam balls, that's the first thing you learn, those little foam balls. And somebody walks in and says, okay, you're doing fantastic. Here, catch this flaming chainsaw.
Right.
Wait, let me crank it first. Here.
Right.
And that's basically what's happening
That's
with you
exactly
guys.
It you've got to be very fluid with this because things change so quickly based on availability of facilities, based on most of us that coach are in the same boat that I'm in that we don't have assistants. So if something happens in our personal lives, then that wrecks the entire schedule. It's tough, but it's worth every bit of it. And what a lot of people don't realize or hadn't thought about, we've got, talking about Chris, for example, incredible archers. People that have shot at national levels are right here in Pike County. So this is not something new. In the school world it is, and in a lot of ways we're still a minor sport when it comes to the fact that it's not a traditional stick and ball sport. It's not something that you can go and watch the scores and at the end of the day exactly where the kids finished and all that. It just doesn't work that way because these tournaments, some of them, especially the bigger ones, last almost a week long because of the way travel works within schools and classifications work for them. So you may shoot on Monday and not find out if you won until Thursday.
I also get the impression there's a lot more math involved here than I would be comfortable with.
Well, it's actually pretty simple.
There is nothing simple about this, Lynn.
Well, this part is. Our team score is made up of 12 cards with a possible of 300 points on each card. The way it works is you take the top 4 male scores, the top 4 female scores, and then 4 scores of what's left over on your team to make that 12 cards. And those top 12 cards is what constitutes your team score. So in that respect, it's very unique because there's not any other sport that I can think of other than maybe swimming where the males and females compete on the same team. And that's a very unique situation unto itself. And then you've got an individual component to that because your card stands alone also. So the kids get recognized individually, they get recognized as a team, and it's pretty cool. It really is, and it gives them a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, you're right. I have to apologize. That's so simple. See, the thing is, when you live in a roiling, boiling cauldron of chaos like Lynn Weaver does, that sounds simple. That looks easy.
Right. I realize that, and also I've been doing it for 10 years, so I don't think about it. It's a very interesting program as a whole, and when you think about it, it's the second largest program of all of the activities and sports in the state of Mississippi. It's the only thing that's any larger is high school marching band.
Well, that's what I was about to point out.
And then even at that, if you take into consideration that there's elementary programs and junior high programs, it surpasses marching band almost double. We're talking about 10,000 kids or more, 14,000 kids in the state of Mississippi that participate. It's wild, and it's to be called a minor sport with that many kids being involved is kind of tough for me to do. But
it's insulting.
I wouldn't say it's insulting. Like I said, it's just not the traditional stick and ball sport, and I totally understand that. The kids understand that, and honestly, a lot of The banner programs, the reason they are banners is because they generate money. We don't, not at that level. Because we travel so much and travel as far as we do, a lot of times parents can't be involved. We shoot in the middle of the day, so ticket sales look different. It just is what it is.
So what I'm hearing is what we need, I'll just give it to you in 2 words, archery roadies.
Yes.
Groupies.
Yes, we need groupies, people that just show up to support these kids.
Yeah.
And those people do exist. There's some people that are actively involved at the state level that have no kids involved. They just love the sport. And honestly, that's why I got involved. I started shooting at a very early age, and nothing like this existed for me. I would have loved to have had the opportunity to participate at this level. And now it's nationwide. And the shooting sports are growing. There's a huge element of trap and skeet at the high school level now. It's amazing what's available. And with all that said, and before people freak out, archery is still the safest sport that's out there. The only thing that's any safer, and you can look at the statistics, is badminton. So
I believe it. Yeah, makes sense.
We're even safer than table tennis.
Well, there's some sharp corners on those tables.
Exactly.
Lynn, you
but
gotta be careful.
as long as the rules are followed and as long as the safety concerns are always adhered to, and that's the first thing. Kids, right out of the box, the first week, we spend learning how to move around the room and how to handle the equipment and what the rules are with that. And as long as you maintain that, we haven't had an accident in the state of Mississippi that I'm aware of in its entire existence.
I would, before we get out of here, just like to suggest one thing. You've mentioned it several times, and it's very accurate, and it's exactly right, that part of the problem is archery is not a traditional stick and ball sport. You're halfway there. You got the sticks. You're just flinging them down the court. So maybe, just a thought, maybe you get like some styrofoam target balls and put at the end, and then you're a stick and ball sport.
There you go. That's exactly what's fixing to happen.
This is why I'm not invited to any of the meetings. This level of idea.
That's hey, it's creativity. It's making it fun.
Well, it's beat the heck out of actually getting a job for me. I can tell you that. The high school in the playoffs.
Yes.
Number 2 in South State.
Yes. And we are super excited about that. Big growth from last year. The team is different every year, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And we never compare teams. We just talk about what we're going to do.
That's all you can do.
That's right.
And, of course, the spring band concert tonight.
6:30, high school band, high school GM, I'm sorry.
Yeah, band hall, there's not going to be enough room.
No place for chairs.
Yeah, you can't. The band groupies, which do exist, by the way, in great numbers, wouldn't be able to fit. Lynn, I enjoyed it.
Thank you again, Dave. I sure appreciate y'all.
Go get a cold compress for your head. Your brain's going to overheat with this, man.
We're going to make it happen.
Good grief. North Pike Thursday, brought to you by Selman's Jewelers and Southwest Supply. We continue on this Thursday morning right after this. Keep it here.
You can blow with this, you can blow with that. You can blow with this, or you can blow with that. You can blow with that. Walk without rhythm, it won't attract the worm. Walk without rhythm, and it won't attract the worm. Walk without rhythm, and it won't attract the worm. If you walk without rhythm, you never learn. You can blow with this, you can blow with that. You can blow with this, or you can blow with that. You can blow with this, or you can blow with that. Or you can blow with us. You can blow with this.
Southwest Supply Company is your local source for supplying your office, restaurant, concession stand, or household. cleaning and janitorial supplies, food service items, and more. We're proud to be able to deliver all of your office supplies, office furniture, and business machines. Call 601-684-5521 or visit us at 1036 Gordon Covington Road in Summit. Southwest Supply Company, delivering weekly to Macomb, Brookhaven, and surrounding areas.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all around, it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crane. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Weekday mornings at 6 after 9 on 93.5 FM, or you can catch up anytime by going to
SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Catch up and catch on.
And when I wake up in the morning to feel the day break on my face, there's a blood that's flowing through the feeling, with a knife to open up the sky's veins. Some things will never change. They stand there looking backwards, half unconscious from the pain. They may seem rearranged in the backwater swirling. There is something that'll never change.
Welcome back. Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County, 93.5.
Says I find ways.
Gearing up for a weekend. I mean, we're close, right? It's Thursday. We're close enough to be weekend dreaming at this point. One thing I would like to throw out, I mean, tonight you've got the band concert, the spring band concert at North Pike, as Lynn Weaver was just telling us about. There's another kind of show going on all weekend starting tonight. It's time for the Southwest Mississippi Community College Spring Stage Band Show. Tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday night, 7 o'clock each night. Sunday at 2 in the afternoon, right over there in the auditorium. If you've never been, I find it hard to believe that there are people in Southwest Mississippi that have never been to a Southwest Stage Band show. You got the Christmas show, you got the spring show. Twice a year, you get the opportunity to go and enjoy this. I find it hard to believe, especially if you've ever been and tried to find a seat. You might be amazed that there are people that have never been. There are plenty of them. Some just moved into the area. You and I both know that's not a huge number of people. Some people have just never made it. Well, tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday night. Tonight, go to the North Pike Spring Band Concert. Then you got tomorrow night and Saturday night at 7. And then Sunday afternoon at 2 with the matinee showing for the Spring Stage Band Show at Southwest. You're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to leave, if you've never been to one, you're going to walk out the door, and as you're headed to the car, the people you came with, you're all going to be talking, going, okay, wow, that was something. That was really good. They surprise you that way. Fun side note, by the way, Saturday afternoon, they're holding auditions at 1. Hint, hint. See, these people, they don't have a garden where they just go out and water it all winter and then great performers spring out of the ground. No, there's a process. That's part of the process. Saturday afternoon at 1. If you're interested in taking part in the stage band shows, if you've got somebody in your family headed to Southwest that would like to be a part of it, Saturday afternoon, a good opportunity, 1 o'clock, and then the show at 7 o'clock. You're not auditioning to be in the show Saturday night. Doesn't work quite that way. But they are always looking for talented people. So if you are a talented people, or you have a talented people in your house, kick them in that direction Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. But either way, go to the show. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be a great time for everybody. I don't know if you saw the news yesterday. The Army has bumped up the maximum enlistment age. It's now at 42. And this is the part, that's what everybody's concentrating on, is that they increased the age to 42. I'm still extremely safe in that category. So I'll put it like this. If they get up to my age and allow my age to enlist, we're in trouble. It's never happened. So if they get to that point, we got big problems. But the part that I think everybody is not really focused on is that they have also relaxed the rules. It used to be 35. It's been 35, mostly. Get to that in a second. Now they're bumping it up to 42. They also will allow prospective recruits to enlist if they have no more than one conviction involving marijuana. You can get caught, you can get busted, you can get convicted of possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, that kind of thing. The Army will no longer care and say, come on in. Bring that fat boy with you, let's go. Because that's part of the problem. They got a whole bunch of fat boys. That's literally been mentioned as one of the reasons why currently the 17 to 24-year-old age group, which is traditionally where the armed services look for recruits, right? The current estimate is approximately 17% of the males in that group qualify to enlist. 17%. It's for a variety of reasons. It's the scores on the admission test. It's the physical fitness. That's a big part of it, because got a lot of folks that, let's just say they don't show up anywhere remotely close to fighting shape. So you have over 80% of that age group that are not fit to serve in the Army. In case you're looking for part of our problems, there you go. So now we're going to have to take them up to 42 with a marijuana conviction. That's what they're doing. Now, a lot of people are saying, this is because of what's going on in Iraq. Things are getting horrible. No, they actually started working on this change last year, before any of this unfolded. This is not something that's reactionary to what's going on in the Middle East. This isn't even the first time they have bumped it up. Back in, what was it? I think it was 2006. They bumped up the enlistment age to 42 for a few years and then dropped it back down when they got the ranks back up where they felt they could make do with what they had. All of that to say this. We got an interesting next 50 years ahead of us in this country. I'm just going to throw that statement out there and let it lie there on the deck, quivering in the sunlight, we have an interesting 50 years coming ahead of us, because we have a group of young people coming up who are literally vast majority not even qualified to join the Army, couldn't get in if they tried, if they wanted to. It's not the want to, it's not the motivation, it's not the attitude. They just can't do it. And I think partially that's because they look around and they look at their parents and their grandparents who basically kind of stalled out because the generations above them refused to go home. I'm looking at you. 2 examples, one on each side, the 2 that I like to use, Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer. They should both be at home with their slippers on and feet propped up watching Wheel of Fortune. They should not be running the entire country and making decisions for those younger generations. So we've got a whole group of people who quit trying because they've seen what trying gets them. They saw what trying got their parents and in some cases, the youngest ones, their grandparents. Because their great-grandparents' generation, boy, there's a lot of different words you could use, but let's just say they haven't been able to quite figure out, some of them, not all of them, obviously. There are no generalizations here, but we have the oldest president and the oldest Congress in the history of the United States. So I'm not feeling out in the weeds somewhere for this attitude. We have an entire group who doesn't know when to go home. And that has clogged things up. It's clogged up the drains of society. So now things are backing up and everybody is shocked. Why? I wonder why. Well, we have a clog in the drains. In the drains of power, if you will. Is that the only problem? No. Is it helping? Oh, no. So now we're down to a generation who is not physically fit enough and can't perform well enough on the admission tests to enlist in the Army. Only 17% qualify. 17%. We're doing a bang-up job, aren't we? Just across the board, we're doing a bang-up job. We continue right after this on Thursday. Keep it here.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalk5County.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. You know, I thought about going back into the audio from Tuesday night's board meeting, but I was like, we don't have time to really get into anything. Not on North Pike Thursday. And there were other things that I wanted to talk with you about, including what's going on in Jackson. If you've been keeping up with the nonsense, we have been told that, we had something for the low interest loans to municipalities and counties that were affected by the bad weather, the winter weather. Winter Storm Labubu, I don't remember the name of it at this point. It doesn't matter. The thing that just laid Oxford out, that storm system. Good idea. There is a little bit of a misconception, both at the state and the federal levels, when they talk about something passing unanimously. That does not mean they held a vote and everyone voted for it. Here's why this comes into play. As you know, we've heard the talking point that it was passed unanimously by the legislature, the House and the Senate, unanimously, not a single dissenting vote. Oh, there wasn't really a vote. And then the governor vetoed it. Now, when you have something and it's unanimous, that you would be comfortable in assuming is a veto-proof thing. They've got the votes to overturn the veto, right? Then you hear this morning that they're taking another run at it in the Senate and the House, passing a new piece of legislation to try to float it and get the governor to sign off on that one. I've had one person so far, just one, ask, why don't they just overturn the veto? Number one, this is a simpler way to go. Number two, I think there is some feeling among some members of the legislature that maybe the governor had some sort of point in there. But more importantly, there is a lot of territory. There's a lot of distance between holding a roll call vote and everybody voting aye, or something passing by unanimous consent. That doesn't mean everybody agreed. It means no one disagreed. That's different. It sounds like it would be the same thing. It's not. Just because something passes by unanimous consent, and that process, in case you aren't familiar with how that works, they put it up, and they make a motion. They read out what the vote is for, and they say that I request that this be passed by unanimous consent without dissent from anyone in the chamber. Now, at that point, any one person, any one member of the legislature in either house, when it comes up, can stand up and go, I object, and then the whole thing falls apart, and you got to go through the process and debate and hold the votes and everything else. There is a difference. Let's say let's say you are holding a vote in your house on what you're going to have for supper. You got everybody there. Mama and Papa are there. A couple of aunts and uncles. It's not a family reunion, but boy, it's close. Big game on TV that weekend. So you got a bunch of people there, and you decide you're going to get everyone's input on what they want to eat, because you're going to order some food and get it. and you decide the most fiscally responsible thing for you is just get some pizza, and then everybody can share it. Now, do you then hold a vote and go ask each individual person one at a time, you want pizza? What about you? You want pizza? What about you? Do you like pizza? No, you take the temperature of the people in the house. You ask a few people and go, what do you think, pizza? That sound good? Okay. And then you say, unless anybody has an objection, I'm going to order some pizza for all of us to eat. And if no one says anything, you order pizza. That's the process of unanimous consent. It doesn't mean everyone in the house wanted pizza. It just means they didn't dislike the idea enough to speak up and bog down the process. Because you're talking and the game's on. So let's get this over with. Let's move along. Whatever. It's going to win regardless. Either way, that's not worth spending time on. I'm trying to say unanimous consent does not mean unanimous approval. So when you hear this and you hear them going through this process again, there's multiple reasons why you would go through that process again. One of them potentially is the fact that it might not be as veto-proof as you think. Now, that doesn't mean there would be a big criticism of it. That would mean, oh, no, I wanted it to be a 0% loan. Not a 1% interest loan. I want it to be a 0% interest loan. I want to just give them the money. They deserve it. Then you've got a discussion going on. But in this whole hypothetical situation that I'm drawing, then you've got some people who are in the legislature, and this comes up for unanimous consent with a 1% interest rate on the payback. And you go, well, it's not what I wanted, but yeah, that'll do. So you don't say anything. You just keep sitting there. It doesn't mean you were 100% behind it and for it. It just means you weren't against it enough to raise your hand. So we're taking another run at this. We'll see what happens. And if they don't dot all the T's and cross all the I's appropriately, Governor Reeves will be right there again. He'll whip that pen out. I like in my mind to picture him when he goes to veto something after long, careful consideration and discussions and research, whips that pen out with a flourish. I don't know if he's got a clicker pen. Is it one that you pull the cap off of, one of the fancy ones? Is it on a giant feather? Is it a quill that he dips into the ink pot to sign it? I don't think that's the way that is, even though it would be cool. But I'd like to think, however it is, he pulls out that pen, whatever it is, clicks it a few times or gives it a flourish, maybe gives it a little test write on a scratched piece of paper he's got laying there, and then launches in like someone conducting a symphony and signs it. Or in this case, doesn't. We'll see what happens with this because we're running out of time in this session. We're just about done. We'll see. But I did want to get into that and explain that just because everybody agreed to not raise a fuss about it doesn't always mean everybody's on board. Unanimous consent is not the same thing as unanimous approval. Sometimes it's just a way to get everybody to shut up and move on to something else that you care more about. In other words, politics.
If you cry out for more, if you reached out for
Final break.
I would run to the storm.
We're going to kill the engine and let it cool off for a bit. When we return on SuperTalk, Mississippi Pike County 93.5. Keep it here.
Did I save you? 'Cause I know you saved me too. Let me take a step towards you. Let me feel you in my hands. Let me cross this line and show you where it leads.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the break. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world.
If you're looking for a side job, and who isn't these days, might I recommend fighting Satan? The Pope went to a meeting of the International Association of Exorcists. Exorcists apparently have a trade union. They explained to him that they currently have about 1,000 members, about 1,000 exorcists. They need another 2,000 to be effective. And they say it's because of, are you ready? It's because of social media and artificial intelligence. Social media, I can believe. Artificial intelligence. That's kind of like blaming the candle making industry. Because you use the candles and the rituals. It's the candle maker's fault. Artificial intelligence is a tool. And it's not even that good of a tool. They have the artificial intelligence checkers that will check written material and let you know if it was written by AI or not. Well, number one, those are powered by artificial intelligence, right? Here's my favorite example of how ridiculous it is to use those. One of the leading artificial intelligence detectors, someone took the first 7 lines of Chapter 5 of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, the original, and put it in there, and it verified that it was 100% written by ChatGPT. So Mary Shelley, back in the 1800s, used ChatGPT. This is how ridiculous this is. Stop blaming AI for your problems. An exorcist, unless you're going to go after the candle industry, don't use the current booger bear of the week to scare up interest. Got a real problem, you need serious people to deal with it. Have a wonderful day in the chair for mornings tomorrow morning at 6:06. My friend, I'll see you then.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.